Hello everybody and welcome to my last English conversational video for the month of June. Yes, you heard correctly. This is going to be the last English conversational video, but no worries, there's still a German conversational video waiting for you in July. Nevertheless, in the beginning of August, it will be time for me to say goodbye, and the 11, almost 12 months I stayed in the Czech Republic will be over. And during the last month, even though I've also traveled a lot, I've of course stayed most of the time here in Plzeň. And because of this, I've got to know the city very well, and now have my favorite places here that I want to share with you today. And maybe one of you has some similar or even the same favorite places as me. So if you want to find out, keep watching, and with that being said, let's go. I can remember that I told you in my first video for the English conversation with the title 10 Facts About Me how much I like the cafes here in Plzeň. And still, these places have been a possibility for me to meet friends, to study, or to simply enjoy a good coffee during the last month. I think that I've tried almost every cafe in the city center at least once, and of course now I have my favorite ones. And it's hard to pick only one as my winner, so here are my top 3 cafes in Plzeň. Let's start with the cafe Stan, where you can get extremely good coffee, but also very delicious cakes and other homemade pastries. I love to sit there to do some computer work because they have free Wi-Fi, but also enjoy going there on a coffee date with a good friend. The second cafe I really like was not so easy to find in the first place. However, the name already reveals why. The Schovaná Kavarna, hidden cafe, near the Náměstí Republiky, had me immediately with its cozy ambiente, its nice stuff, but also with its delicious breakfast options, and even more convincing, extremely good chai latte. You should definitely try that one if you go there. The last of my top 3 coffee places is the Café Walter near the big theater, where you can enjoy the sun during summer or escape the cold in winter. This is what I did very often during the cold season here in Plzeň, and every time I went there, I enjoyed the good coffee and nice cakes that they have. And now, during summer, you can also sit there outside, so if you haven't been there already, definitely give it a try. Other cafes on my list are the Café Regner, the Coffee Park, Papa Coffee, and Scharlik and Spund. Thus, I know that if one place is already full, I still have enough other places to go to. Do you have a favorite cafe in Plzeň, and if so, what makes it your favorite one? In my video, 5 things on my bucket list, I told you already that I would like to start a new hobby this year. And I also mentioned that one I started here in Plzeň was bouldering in the V16 Lezecké Centrum near Plzeň Plaza. Even though I currently don't find the time to go there so regularly, it is always a pleasure to visit it. Bouldering is a sport that challenges me, but also gives me the possibility to try something new every time I do it. And for me, it is definitely an activity that is fun and that I don't have to motivate myself for because I simply enjoy doing it. The feeling when I finish a route that challenged me in the beginning is incredible. I will definitely go there as often as possible before I leave Plzeň in August, and when I come home, I can definitely imagine continuing with this hobby. Another sport that has literally played a big role in my life, because I also did it as a hobby for 7 years, is football. And when I found out that Viktoria Plzeň plays in the first league of the Czech Republic, I was very excited. First, I didn't know someone who wanted to go there with me, but then I met a friend who is himself a big fan of football and who also coaches a young team of Viktoria Plzeň. He asked me once if I want to join him because he was able to get free tickets for a match, And since then, we went to the stadium a few times, and it was always a pleasure for me to be there. I just love the vibe in a stadium, the tension when it's an exciting match, the encouraging when our team is behind, and the cheering when it shoots the final goal to equalize or to win the match. And I was even able to experience the best result of Victoria in its history in the Conference League on the 14th of March this year. Victoria won the game with a 3-1 on penalties, and with that defeated the team from Geneva, Servette. You can probably imagine how the whole stadium cheered after this. And I was also extremely happy to have been part of this historical day. And now my question, can you relate? Are you also a big football fan? Or do you prefer the Czech national sport hockey? Let me know down below in the comments. Of course, I don't only enjoy sport events, but I'm also a big friend of culture. And one thing that really impressed me here in Pilsen was the big theater. When I visited it for the first time, I couldn't keep my eyes off the beautiful ornaments on the ceiling of the hall, the detailed drawings, as well as the historic ranks and private balconies for the spectators. I was able to watch a few ballet performances there, and my favorite one was definitely the Nutcracker. Not only did they make it extremely magical, but they also included some funny parts and interactive points by having the dancers also approach the people in the audience. When I visit Pilsen in the future, I definitely want to go there again. And let's see, maybe I will even have a new favorite play there. In the beginning of my stay here in Pilsen, I can remember that I was a little bit sad because I didn't live in the city center. I thought that I would miss the exciting life and events there. But I soon realized that on one hand, I am only about 10 minutes away by tram from the city center and therefore always have the possibility to go there quickly. And on the other hand, I discovered the advantages of living close to nature. The nearby forest with its numerous lakes became an opportunity for me to relax, to escape reality, and to let my thoughts wander without being distracted by the hustle and bustle around me. I know the forest extremely well now, as I go there almost every day and love enjoying the sun, listening to the birds singing, and letting nature work its magic on me. In summer, I am definitely going to swim in one of the lakes, which I already did last year when it was still so warm here in Pilsen. And I am just happy that I have the forest literally right around the corners, and I know that most people will envy me for being so close to nature during summer. Something I experienced quite different in Pilsen was going to the cinema. Not only did I watch a movie in 4D here for the first time, which meant that my seat moved, water as well as different scents were sprayed, and even an imaginary hand lightly punched me from behind from my backrest. I also only watched movies in their original language, English, and even though it was a little bit difficult sometimes to understand the actors, especially when they had an accent, I now couldn't imagine doing it differently. I mean, I did this a few times in my hometown, but often there was not the possibility to watch a movie in its original language. And here, I feel like it's a common thing. And because there are still subtitles, I am able to improve my Czech language skills at the same time. The best movie I watched here was definitely Back to Black, telling the life of the famous musician Amy Winehouse, who unfortunately died way too young. To me, the film was very enriching because it explained the background to many of her songs and at the same time showed why things happened the way they did in her life. And of course, there were enough moments during the movie where I was able to sing along loudly at one of my favorite songs like Rehab, Valerie, or Love is a Losing Game. Do you like going to the cinema, or do you prefer watching films at home? Even though I already told you that I like being in nature without there being much things going on around me, I also like to combine these two things. In Pilsen, I do have the possibility of doing this, as there are some green places in the middle of the big city that have now become my favorite ways of enjoying nature within Pilsen. I love, for example, the Lochotynsky Park nearby the Zoologická zahrada, because there is enough space to find a quiet place to read, enjoy the sun, or simply unwind. I also like the Kopeckého study, which I think is a little oasis in the city center. Here you have many cafes and restaurants around you and still get the feeling of relaxation, and I really like that about this place, besides the beautiful flowers that are planted and cared for. By the way, I feel the same with nearby Mlynska Stroha, where you have a beautiful pond in addition. And the last place on my list, which is unfortunately a little bit further away from my flat, is the Borski Park in the south of Pilsen. Here you can also quickly escape the hustle and bustle of the city and find a quiet place in the extensive park. I definitely have to visit this place before I leave in August, and since a friend and I are still planning a picnic together, Borski Park would be a perfect option for that. Or what do you think? Do you have a favorite park in Pilsen? And if so, what makes it special in your eyes? And that brings me to the end of my video. I hope that I was able to entertain you one last time in English. Thank you for the positive feedback so far. It was always a lot of fun creating the videos, and every time I learned something myself by researching the topics. Even though I didn't manage to always speak slowly in my videos, I hope that most of it was still understandable and that I was able to introduce some of you to the English language. And if you feel like it, you are welcome to take a look at my last video for the German conversation in July. Until then, I wish you all the best and hope that you will enjoy your time during summer. Best regards and ahoy!